Ashes of Creation is making the rounds here again on YouTube, with Josh Strife Hayes adding a little skepticism to the mix, while Narc decided to call out our waistcoat wearing Chad for mistaking Ashes for Pantheon, an actual dumpster fire that won't see the light of day. And of course, Narc is right about Pantheon, but as much as I'm high on copium for this game, as well as Narc, Josh is right and Ashes does still deserve skepticism. I'm Angers, and I hope this is a definitive guide to the Ashes controversy and serves to clear up any confusion and remind everyone why the community at large remains unconvinced. All Kickstarter projects are worthy of scrutiny, and all MMORPG projects are equally worthy of scrutiny. So what do you think that means for Kickstarter MMORPG projects? Probably doesn't cancel out, does it? I'm no mathematician, but I think it probably multiplies how careful you should be when approaching one such game. But it doesn't stop there. In this video, we're going to look at one of the hottest upcoming MMORPGs and all of its controversy. Should we remain hopeful or dismiss it entirely? Ashes of Creation has generated a lot of buzz since it launched its Kickstarter in 2017, and along with it, a metric fuckton of controversy. As usual, it appears Reddit sleuths were quick to judge and hold Intrepid Studios accountable for oddities in their marketing, Kickstarter, and the history of the company. One of the first to pick up on this was PC Gamer with an article titled "There's Something Strange About Kickstarter's Most Successful MMO" in June of 2017. I'll be referring to this and other articles often, which refer to Reddit and YouTube videos. I recommend you look for yourself and see the original takes from first-party sources, but I'll do my best not to mislead or put spin on anything. So what are the red flags for Ashes of Creation? For starters, Steven Sharif, the founder of Intrepid, has never made a game before. He's not a developer at all, just a gamer, he says, like us. Instead, he made a fortune selling nutritional drinks, got involved with a multi-level marketing scheme, and further made gains in investments and real estate. He sounds just like every other game developer, doesn't he? I'll note I did say scheme there, that's a little bit of a spin, but I'm not a fan of multi-level marketing. Well, I said I wouldn't put any spin on anything, here's a little bit anyway. At least I'm honest. Steven sounds to me like a smooth-talking scam artist, a salesman, and not afraid to involve himself in industries with a bit of controversy themselves. Crowdfunding MMOs isn't much different. But he does say that the project comes from his personal funding. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. And if the project fails, he claims he will refund every dollar of the Kickstarter. The team at Intrepid may be questionable as well. Back in 2017, they boasted a team of over 40 years MMO experience, which to me is either a lot of people with little experience or too few people with quite a bit. With titles like SWG, Star Wars Galaxies, for those not in the know, EverQuest, and PlanetSide under their belts, it sounds impressive until you consider the lead game designer. Jeff Bard was a game designer on EQ2 for just under 3 years. And what did he do before that? That's right, you guessed it, Senior Customer Support Supervisor. Not exactly a glowing history. There are some oddities in the PC Gamer article. They spoke with Intrepid and got some footage of the game, and when they asked to see the node system, the thing that Ashes is so proud of, the lead designer claimed it was so grand in scale it might take months or a year to evolve from a camp to a city, and that they haven't figured out how to show that off in one sitting, meaning Intrepid hasn't figured out fast forward. Seriously, your team can't design developer tools that you will need to test this, that allow you to either change a node's status in real time or speed up the process by checking a few boxes? It's no wonder people are skeptical. I could make something that does that in Unity right now. It wouldn't take me but a few minutes. Apparently, there was a referral program that generated a large amount of controversy at the time. And I admit, I don't know what this is about to say, but I can already tell I don't care. This sounds like a big nothing burger, but let's take a look anyway. At the time, you could get a referral code and spread that out to whoever would listen, and any money spent by that person earned you 15% of that value as premium currency or actual cash when the game is live, whatever that means. Okay, that's pretty interesting. I didn't know it allowed you to cash out real money. I can see why this is a problem. It doesn't just incentivize pushing a game that doesn't exist and may never exist, it pays you to do so. It sounds exactly like the crypto scam RPGs of today. Seems like Steven was just ahead of his time. This is 100% an MLM strategy, and it's pretty gross. But was it malicious, or was it a tone-deaf move from a guy whose only experience is in those slimy sales tactics? Spin time. If it is just a mistake, given Steven's background, shouldn't we expect more of this kind of behavior, not less, no matter what he says about monetization? I encourage you to have a look at Steven's rebuttals and explanation, available in the article linked in the description. He claims it's not like MLM because as you go further down the pyramid, the original person will make less money. And while that's true, it's only true if the people below you are getting referrals as well and offsetting their own payments into the game. More realistically, what happens is large influencers will have most of the referrals, and any referrals past that second line will be few and far between, incentivizing streamers and YouTubers to push the game and make a sizable profit. But let's move on. The Kickstarter originally promised delivery by December 2018, a date that has come and gone with little to show. Content creator It's Ziz, a Kickstarter backer himself, decided to look into whether he thought it was a scam or not as of a Reddit post 3 years ago. His concern: the promises were misleading and the project focuses on money. This, despite the fact that Steven has said time and time again that the project was fully funded by himself. And speaking of that funding, I recently got a comment from someone on one of my videos that said Steven funded $40 million himself, meaning the Kickstarter $3 million was just a drop in the bucket. However, when I went to look into this and find a source for the $40 million, what I found were sources that said $30 million. Steven actually said in an interview, the project is being funded by myself currently. This is going to be a bigger game content-wise than Crowfall, and our budget and funding reflects that. A core viable build that includes all the features discussed about the game will take roughly $30 million to complete. The Kickstarter and any other crowdfunding we might engage in is intended to add to that budget, for additional scope on certain systems we intend to reveal throughout development. He didn't say that he spent $30 million or put up $30 million of his own. He said the game will take roughly $30 million to complete. And while this is close, this is not confirmation of how much money he's put up himself. And the additional $10 million came from a Discord comment where he stated the $30 million number was off and it was going to be more like 40. Again, that doesn't mean he's put up $40 million of his own money. So additional concerns that It's Ziz brought up in his Reddit post were the release of the Apocalypse mode, a battle royale, purportedly to test combat systems for the ultimate MMORPG, and that's a bit of a red flag. While the explanation of Intrepid makes sense, it is also a possible red herring to satisfy the Kickstarter promise. The game and its features have been delayed over and over. Not uncommon with a massive game like this and an indie company, but a flag in itself that maybe they bit off more than they could chew. They have apparently been banning critics in Discord and blocking Twitter users, and this is entirely hearsay and only interesting if the bans are for legitimate concerns and not for slander, lies, or otherwise being obnoxious. The Discord spams the cash shop. Emails are half sales pitches, and the most fleshed out system, according to Ziz, appears to be the cash shop. Skins are expensive, and many are simple recolors. He ends by hoping it's not a scam and is eagerly awaiting Siege Mode, something we finally get to see in May of 2021. And this brings me to the NDA drop of 2021. In an article by Massively OP, they compile some quotes from users who participated in the alpha. And here are some thoughts. In general, the combat seemed a little clunky, and at worst, it was not fun or engaging. But here are some actual quotes. I thought combat was fine. It's definitely not as satisfying fun as New World, but that's an unfair comparison for a few reasons. I would definitely say it's not quite there yet, but can see it becoming solid. Things seem as expected for any game this early in development. Lots of basic stuff that works, lots of things that don't work, but definitely proof that this game seems to be coming along. My personal guess is that the game won't be ready until 2023-2024, but the game is slowly but surely coming along with a lot of the core features coming online. And there were further reactions in the comments, but there's no proof any of these were alpha testers. I will take their word for it. I thought it was pretty okay. Combat was your standard tab targeting with the option to switch to an action mode that mostly just changed the camera angle and changed the attack button from Q to left click. There was no auto attack, so you had to be mashing the Q key whenever you weren't doing abilities. What was different from most games is that your level doesn't affect your ability to hit enemies or not. At level 5, I was fighting level 15 mobs and beating them handily with just paying a bit of attention to heals. For a game that was in pre-alpha, I thought it felt okay. Yes, there were many bugs, many features were missing, and combat wasn't really unique, but that's all that will be reworked according to things I've read on official Discord. I've not seen an MMO of this scope progress so quickly. Every build represents a leap in content. Absolutely love what they've done already, and we're still relatively early in development. So, what have we seen so far? Is there a game here or isn't there? More recent comments indicate people haven't seen any MMO mechanics, probably the most difficult thing to code. But haven't we? Let's take a look at what we've seen so far. Throughout this video, I have been showing clips from this video by Richie SH. I want to thank Richie, and if he doesn't want me to use this, please let me know. But if you want to check out his content, go to his channel, which I will link in the description. Thank you, Richie SH. I'm gonna play this right now, and I'm going to react to all of the little game mechanics that I notice, and we're gonna see just how much is actually complete with this game. Let's get into it. Thank you, Richie, for being an alpha tester. All right, I'm going to stop it right here. Already, I guess. Okay, we have a chat box. Look at that. So we have multiplayer chat. Multiple people in here. We have notifications. We have quests. At least we have the notification of a quest, perhaps given by a GM, or maybe it was picked up. I don't know. We have multiple people on screen. We have, are these vehicles? How are these moving? Yeah, these are vehicles. We have the ability to get into a vehicle and drive it around. We've got some kind of collision physics. We have a scoreboard for this siege mode with a time limit. We have health. I assume that's mana. We have the health of the ballista that he is driving. We have the player icon. Looks like it might be a placeholder, or maybe that's his class. He looks like maybe max level right now is 15. And 16 is not in the game yet. Maybe it's later on. So we have maxed out our XP, and it doesn't go any further. We have a hotbar filled with spells. We have a horse, which we saw them mounting earlier, or maybe we'll see them mounting later. I've been watching this. This appears to be his spell book, perhaps. Or maybe somebody did mention spamming Q, so that could be your auto attack, your normal attack. Look, we've got floating damage numbers. I'm not sure how far the trebuchet is shooting right now, if he has any control of that at all. Is it where his mouse cursor's going? Let's find out. See if we can't see. Yes, there is some control there, or there's at least a reference for where it is going to go. Okay, now we stop here too. We're seeing a raid bar. So everybody in the raid, I'm going to assume it's a raid, not just a party. Everyone has health bars and their mana showing and their name in the raid frame. You have, it looks like it might even have a timer on it. You have icons for effects that are on you. Trying to see if that's a type. There are timers. Yeah, you have timers. You have stacks. We have the interact key. We have healing. Looks like there's stacks of heal over time. We have damage over time. We have area of effect. We have tons of spells going off all at once. The ability to target area of effect where you want with just your mouse cursor, it looks like. We've got countdown. We've got cooldown timers on our hotbar. There's mounts. Here we go. We've got mounts. Notice a lot of the animations. There seem to be a lot of animations. Everybody's animated. We've got cast animations, different cast animations for different spells. We have channeling. That looked like a channeling ability. We have spell not ready. So if you attempt to cast something that's on cooldown, it tells you you can't do it. You can keep spamming it. It won't work. Boss health bar up here. Quite a lot of health. He's got a ton of good animations. He has a frame around him for targeting. We have a meteor-like ability that the dragon cast on this guy, and he needs to get away from it. Or not get away from it, because it's going to hit him regardless, but he needs to get away from everyone else, get away from the raid to protect them. So we have boss mechanics. Now he can come back in. Tons of floating damage, DOTs, HOTs, flames over here in place. Failed to cast Lava Storm. I wonder what that's about, why you would fail that. Maybe his target was bad or something. That was a massive AoE with warning by the dragon, so you know he's about to do it and you need to get away. Lots of effects going up onto the boss. Maybe they need to have room for more of them. We have a mini map. I didn't notice that before. So mini map over here shows everybody on the screen, and you've got you even have guilds. Look at that. You've got guilds. At least the ability to put a guild name under your name. Have I seen whether they have guilds implemented or not? No, I don't know. But this tells me they have some capability there. And we're at 20 FPS. Now, look at everything that's going on. This isn't surprising at all. This is also back in 2021, and the game is in alpha. It is not optimized whatsoever. You'll notice the frame rate is not great the entire time, and some of the animations are a little bit janky. Movement isn't quite as natural and fluid as I'd like to see it, but that is all polish. You cannot say that this game doesn't exist. Target too far, so we have cast distances. Those are implemented. And granted, this is just a video about sieges. Oh, look at that. You have, he's hovering over his bar. So we have the ability to hover and get information. They have mana costs, they have ranks. He has some kind of ability maybe charged up on him. Oh, up here you can see that his icon is sparkling. It probably means something. I don't know what that is, but I bet he knows what it is. Maybe it's been like that the whole time. I don't know. Let's look. Nope, it hasn't been. Tons of different effects going on. Channeled effects, AoE effects, flame. This looks like arcane. And he's dead. Okay, he died. Instantly gets a pop-up that he's dead, and he has 30 seconds to respawn. Automatically. Alright, he's running back, and it's dead. I don't know if that was a different dragon or what, because it looked like a different area. Okay, he's running up here. There's the correct area, so it was another dragon. We're back into siege mode. We have PvP implemented. We have an actual game here. Look, we have somebody sending a global message to the raid, maybe? Or maybe it was a GM. Tons of damage there. Trying to see if there's collision with that. It's colliding with this object here. Lots of choke points in this castle. I don't know, man. What are we missing? What is this game missing? There is a lot going on. There seems to be a lot already here. For the people that are saying there is no game, there are no MMO mechanics, they're just not paying attention. They're wrong. There are a lot of things going on and a lot of things yet to come, and there are videos that I'm not going to take the time to go through right here, right now. There's videos about the nodes. There's videos about the animal husbandry. Look at that. So additionally, what I will say is I talked a little bit of shit about the Ashes of Creation, the Intrepid team earlier, and that was all done as of the time in which we were talking about, what people might have been feeling back then. However, today, the team is reportedly 60 or 60 plus strong. Stephen Bard, has moved on to another company to work on virtual reality. He clearly spent his time well with Intrepid, and someone else wanted to pick him up as I believe it was a lead game designer. So to anyone worried about whether this team can perform in creating an MMORPG, I think that the action speaks for itself. My thoughts on the controversies are the game was first kickstarted in 2017, and we are only in 2022. For a game as large and complicated as an MMORPG, this is right in line with what they should have known in the first place. They were not going to be able to deliver anything in 2018. Aside from missing some milestones, like delivering a product in 2018, which seems only to be an indication that a person who has never made an MMORPG before was creating these timelines, the game does seem to be making progress. Releasing a battle royale to test mechanics doesn't seem so far-fetched to me, and the weird, scummy referral program kind of seems like a bit of a misplay, and yet it still exists. So if you can see your way past that, there is really only the existence of the cash shop. I'm almost sure that Steven has put up much of his own cash to fund this game. However, I'm also sure he probably didn't anticipate it to cost as much as it's going to. I don't know what his finances are like, but having a cash shop and offering people the ability to purchase items isn't a bad thing in itself. If you don't want to purchase them, don't. The game doesn't exist, and if you're buying things from a cash shop in a game that doesn't exist, that sounds like your problem. But what I do think is that he hopes to offset some of the cost that he is putting up for this game. Is that a bad thing? Maybe, maybe not. Depends on you. From what I can tell, we are starting to see a game shape up. And for those who think that there are no MMORPG mechanics, I would say you haven't been paying attention. So, is Josh right or is Narc right? I think they're both right. Narc has been paying close attention to this game from the beginning and has seen his way past all of these issues, while Josh is more of an outsider to the Ashes development. Having some healthy skepticism is probably good. So what do you think after this? Is Ashes a scam, or are we going to see this game? I know I asked this before, but I hadn't put this much effort into showing you everything that has gone wrong and right. See you in the next one.